everyone. I'm Rachel here with Ari, and we're your hosts for the Merry Writer podcast. This week, we're on episode 300, and we're asking who wants to revisit some old episodes. Before we start, if you enjoy the show, consider checking out our coffee page. You can follow the page for free as we have plenty of goodies for all. And if you're feeling generous, a one-off donation will get you access to more treats, or you can become a Merry Writer for just $2 a month. For that, you'll get access to all the items in our shop, including exclusive goodies, as well as access to monthly bonuses, and it all helps to support our podcast. Obviously, if that's not your style and you still enjoy the show, then please subscribe wherever you're listening if you haven't already, and consider dropping us a like if you're watching on YouTube. Now, believe it or not, you've been listening to us discuss writing and ramble about absolutely nothing for 300 weeks straight. Ari and I have changed a lot over 300 weeks, and since reaching 300 episodes is kind of a big deal, we thought it'd be hilarious and horrifying to revisit some of our old episodes. We didn't really know how best to go about this. I gathered a couple of clips from 3 of our earlier episodes, and I wrote down my initial thoughts when I listened to them, so you won't really hear my first reaction to them, but Ari hasn't heard these clips before. So you're going to get to hear her raw reaction. Hopefully it'll be funny. And again, we've never done an episode like this before, so hopefully I grab some decent clips and we all get a good laugh at it, and hopefully it sounds smooth, because again, we have to pause the recording and listen to the clips individually because it won't come through Zoom. So if this episode ends up being a little choppy, I apologize, but it's okay. It should be overshadowed by the horrible audio quality of the clips. I didn't re-edit any of the clips because I just wanted everybody to listen to our horrible audio in all of its glory. So I apologize in advance, but let's get started. The first clip, or the first 2 clips, are from episode 2. Are you a planner, pantser, or plantser? So let's listen to the first clip, which was our horrible, horrible intro. I shouldn't say anything. It's just give it a listen.
Hey everyone, I'm Rachel Poley with Ari Meglin, and we're your hosts for the Merry Writer podcast. For those of you listening, welcome back to episode 2. Today's topic is, are you a planner, pantser, or plantser? But before we begin, let's catch up. Ari, how have you been this week?
I've been okay. I've actually been venturing out for some food shopping when I could, and shocked that there wasn't actually any lines or large expanses of empty shelves, which is quite good to see. And I've been trying to do my daily exercise, since we're allowed to go out once a day for exercise. I think that's actually something I'm doing more of since the lockdown, because now it's been reduced and you're limited to only one bit of exercise outside. It's like, oh my gosh, I've got to go out and do exercise. So I think I'm going to be the fittest I have ever been by the end of this.
Oh my God. Weird. The first thing I thought was, you said actually too many times. Ari, what were you doing? It's like so hard. Obviously, this was started in the pandemic. We were bored and we've been planning a podcast for ages, and we thought, let's start it. So we did the whole check in and make sure and talk about boring things.
We thought we were being sensitive to our audience because we were all in lockdown. So we were like, let's do a quick catch up and just let's talk about our feelings and stuff. And that intro, I obviously only got a little clip of it, but that intro is 5.5 minutes long, which is absolutely wild. I don't know how we carried on so long about grocery shopping and stuff, because it continues on where I talk about my grocery store and we just go on and on about food shopping.
That's painful. I think we didn't we used to put what they called timestamps on YouTube so people could skip ahead?
Yes, yeah. But of course the timestamp is just catch up. That's what it's labeled as.
It's funny because at the moment our current intro, which we are changing next year, is actually 40 seconds long. And I think we decided that was too long and we're changing it. So the fact that we did a 5-minute intro is quite painful. I don't think I could have listened to anymore.
It was really painful to listen to these episodes just to get these clips. But it's oddly, it's kind of funny at the same time. But the other thing is, well, it is funny because look how much we've grown over the years. Although I'm really glad that we've grown over the years because the audio is really bad. It's like crackly.
Bad audio.
It's like, yeah, it's like smothering. And I will say that when I first started hearing my voice, I was like, why do I sound like I'm congested? And then at some point in the episode, I talk about how I'm getting over a cold. And I was like, oh my God. So we decided let's wait for Rachel to get sick and then we'll record our first few episodes. So I actually don't even sound like myself. I actually am all congested. But with the intro, I also found it funny. I also found it funny that we played the intro music and we let the intro music play the whole part of it. And then we started talking. And now we kind of let it play for a few seconds and we let it fade out in the background as we begin the episode. But before, we just let the whole like 7 seconds of it or whatever play. And then we started talking. So it's really kind of jarring.
Actually, I think it was a 10-second intro music because I think originally the intro and outro music was the same length. And then I don't know what point I must have had a moment when I was like, oh, this is taking too long. So I did cut the intro music down to 5 seconds. And as you said, we actually we start talking at 5 seconds and I think it goes on for like 6 seconds, something like that. Is this also boring people? We're now talking about the technicalities of the music.
I don't even know. I mean, people might listen to this episode and be like, why did they think this was a good idea? But hey, we thought it was a fun milestone.
Yeah, if you people aren't going to give us ideas, then we're going to come up with our own terrible ones. Simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know, 300 weeks. We have learned, we have improved over time, but it's interesting to hear us talk because I thought we ate. I really did. And then listening back to it now, I'm like, we sound horrible. And I know it was really jarring for us to hear our own voices, but for the most part, we thought we sounded really good and we thought we were speaking so well and stuff. And I pause so often, and I know I still do actually, technically, but I feel like I was worse way back then. It's really jarring to hear that.
The thing is, isn't it because we were not great with editing? Because yeah, you do pause, and I constantly stutter I'm like, I, and there's a lot of them in. Make sure you don't edit that out because that's it. But now when we edit, we cut down the pauses. We try and cut out some of the stuttering if we can, and we try and cut down the ums and ahs. Again, it's not always easy. Sometimes they're so close to the actual audio, you just can't snip it. But I feel like in the beginning, we really weren't great at editing, and it took so long because our episodes went on, as you can see, 5 or 6 minutes of intro alone. So, yeah, we were just terrible at editing.
But it wasn't even just the editing. We had no idea what we were doing with recording. I didn't have the microphone that I have now. I had a Blue Yeti microphone. I had the Blue Yeti Snowball, which is a good mic. I'm not saying anything about that, but it's not I have a better quality microphone now.
See, you need to up your game with it. It's like I am still using the same very expensive, very good microphone that I stole from my partner because it's his music microphone. But I didn't realize it was directional when I first started this podcast. So I was not using it correctly. Yeah. So here's a tip. Learn your tools and get good ones.
We researched the crap out of podcasting, but not equipment or anything like that. We didn't get into the nitty gritty. We were just like, what should we talk about? What do people want to hear? How long should the episodes be? And let's talk for 5.5 minutes about food shopping.
I feel like we think, what do people want to hear about? And then we just dismissed it until we want to do this. We'll just do this. Doesn't matter if people want to listen.
There was no structure at all, but the outro is kind of funny too. So let's move on to clip number 2.
On that note, I think that'll be it for this week's episode. So let us know if you're a planner, pantser, or plantser on Twitter using the hashtag #TheMerryWriterPodcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and you can follow and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite sites such as Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, and many more. Tune in next week for another episode of the Merry Writer Podcast where we ask all the right questions. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
You sound so bored. It's like, because obviously you're not well and you're full, but you're like, thanks for listening to the podcast.
I think I had a
Bye.
radio voice. I was trying to be like professional. And obviously I was reading from the script, and it's not like we had the intro and outro quote unquote memorized or anything like that. I was like really trying to focus on the words. And yeah, I do. I sound stiff.
It sounds like you, because obviously you weren't well. It has that sense of like, I am so tired of this. I just want to go and lie down. Just let's get to the end of it and let's go. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
understandable.
No, I mean, that's fair. I think it's hilarious that we mentioned Twitter too. Obviously, Twitter, we're not on Twitter anymore. It's not even called Twitter anymore. But I love how we were like trying to tie in the hashtag game with the podcast, because we still did the hashtag game when we started the podcast, I think. We kind of fizzled it out a few months into the podcast.
Yeah, it was just too much to do both.
Oh, it was, yeah. But I distinctly remember we were going to stop the hashtag game once the podcast released, but we wanted to elongate it just a little bit throughout the end of the year so that we could kind of point people in the direction to the podcast. We didn't want to just stop it, because then we were afraid that nobody would know that the podcast existed.
Yes, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
See, we were thoughtful. We had an idea with what we were doing.
Yeah, we did. I also like how we used to both say bye. I forgot that was the thing we did.
Yeah, especially because there was quite a big gap between. It's like, I think I might have forgotten that I was meant to do that.
There were so many episodes where, yeah, we would just forget. Because whoever the host was would pause, they'd say bye, and then they'd pause before the credits, but they wouldn't say the credits until the other person said bye, and we would be in the video like waving to each other, be like, you gotta say goodbye. You're gonna upset the listeners that Ari did not say goodbye to them this week.
It reminds me of like Saturday morning cartoons where all the presenters, bye kids, bye.
Yes,
bye,
yeah.
bye. That's what it felt like. It's like, oh my God, no. And then we got rid of that, thank God. But
when did we?
As you said,
that?
It was a while. It was a while, and then we got rid of it. I think it was like 2022. But you're right though, because obviously we've been doing this for a long time, and you do, even though we have a script, you do kind of get used to what's being said. Although Rachel has a habit of changing our script, she's changed it like twice already, and we're changing it again.
I think I change it every year.
I think we have been. You have been changing it every year. You're right, but you kind of get in a flow with it, and we are a little bit more silly with it, and like, we'll throw in the odd amendment, whereas you could tell we were like just reading it very carefully because we were so not used to it, and we didn't want to fuck up.
Yeah, and I have a prime example of that in a few clips from now, but I'm ready to move on to clip 3, and this is from episode 6. Do you love or hate editing?
There are many different stages of editing, such as developmental or content, copy editing, line editing, and proofreading. I have a love-hate relationship with editing. I think each stage has its own ups and downs, and depending on what you're looking for, editing's just in general, editing is not easy.
Yeah, I agree. I think it has its uses, and obviously we need to do it, but it's definitely not the most fun part of the writing process.
You know what? 5 years in, I still hate listening to my own voice. It's easy enough when you are editing the podcast because you're focusing on the wave and you're trying to cut it and clean it. But listening back to episodes is hurting me a little bit.
It is. It's kind of crazy that we had people following us and subscribing to our podcast and actually listening to the full episodes. I don't know why, but I appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah, those people who found us at the beginning and stuck with us to the end. That's weird.
Wrong with you, well, it's very nice of you guys.
It is. Yes, we do really appreciate it.
Do you want to guess why I chose that clip? It's something you said.
Is it now? Oh, don't say something I said. What did I say? I blocked that part out when I started hearing my horrible voice. Go on, tell me.
Talking about editing. our novels, a huge component of the writing process. And Ari starts talking and she goes, it has its uses.
Well, it does.
When you make it sound like it's like you don't have to, but you know what? It's probably a good thing if you do.
I mean, you've seen some stuff that gets
Oh,
self-published. You know
I
it's
know.
never been edited. It was for those people.
I died when I heard that, where I'm like, editing is hard. And you're like, yeah, but it has its uses.
Yeah, I was probably ad-libbing and didn't know what to say. See, but at the beginning, we definitely needed a script. We weren't comfortable. And I might have been like, yeah, useful.
But we didn't have a
useful.
script at that point, I don't think.
No, we didn't, did we? Because our first guest, our poor first guest, had no script to go on. Oh my God, this was all ad-lib. You're right.
Yeah.
That's worrying. Did we have an intro and outro? A script at all? Maybe,
I think we just
had
the intro outro
yeah,
written, and that was
yeah,
it.
we didn't put any notes because we have
Nope.
scripts. For anyone who's listening, we do have Google Docs scripts, but it's mostly for putting intro, outro, and it's mostly for putting our notes, bullet points, things like that, in things we want to reference. Every now and then we go a bit crazy and write full sentences. We don't always read them. Like at this moment, I have made no notes for this episode because obviously it's like a blind episode for me. So I am ad-libbing everything. Everything's coming as I'm saying it, which is why it's a hot mess. But yeah, I did forget that we had no script because I think our second guest got a script after our poor first guest was just like thrown into the hot seat.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Sorry, Carrie.
We are so sorry. You did not deserve that.
No.
Oh, no, it was a really good episode. She was really good.
Oh, absolutely. No, it was a good episode. She was good. We probably weren't.
Oh God, no.
We didn't take any clips from any guest episodes.
No.
Although I'm sure that would have, hearing episode 10 probably would have been interesting to hear how we handled having a third person. We probably made it so awkward for her. Oh, I'm sorry, Carrie.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't until what, a year or two ago when we figured out we could separate all of the waves, all of the different
The
audio, thank you.
Yeah.
So that if we accidentally overtalk each other or there's an issue or anything, we can separate them out and move it so that you can hear each other's, because you know, when you're all excited and you're talking, you can overtalk each other. And it just made it easier. And we didn't do that for ages. So
no,
so
we didn't even mute ourselves.
No, we didn't. So there was like all sorts of noise in the background.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was bad. But speaking of scripts, we did finally catch on. Maybe Carrie's episode was when we decided that we should probably have a script, because we didn't have one for episode 10. I don't know about episode 11, but episode 12, you can clearly hear us reading directly from a script. So that's what our final few clips are. They're from episode 12, Should Authors Have a Website? So let's listen to clip number 4.
Hey everyone, I'm Rachel Poley with Ari Meglin, and we're your hosts for the Merry Writer podcast. We are on episode 12, and this week's question is, do authors need a website? Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening so you never miss a show. If you enjoy our episodes, please give it a like. So, do authors need a website? It's a personal decision, but I think all authors should have a website. A website is a great place to engage with readers and fellow writers alike, as well as it being a home base for your books. It's a great way to market your work and share it with the world. Social media posts can only last for so long, while websites can have a broader reach.
I agree. A website, in my personal opinion, is a definite must. It is a central hub for an author. Social media and other places we have on the net should be treated as offshoots. We don't own social media pages, and these can be shut down for a number of reasons, including something as simple as losing favor. It may seem like Twitter and Facebook will be around forever, but that's what people thought about MySpace.
I love the bit where I say, we all think that Twitter and Facebook will be around forever. It's like, nope.
None of these episodes aged well at all.
I have to say, though, I still 100% stand by what I say. It's a hub. It's important. You agree? It's like we should have a website. So our original message was right still.
That, absolutely. But when we talk about social media, we don't even realize how different things have changed over the years, and which will further my point in the next clip. But for this one, I do think that we sound a little more confident and less stiff, but we're definitely reading from a script. And it's not even just the intro and outro. Like, you can tell that we have thoughts, but we're like reading directly. It's the script is right in our face and we're just reading word for word.
Yeah, that is. And it is a little bit stiff and a little bit stilted, although it is definitely better than before when we had no script and obviously no notes. So we were just kind of like, drifting about. But yeah, you could tell there was a bit more oomph to it. But maybe it's because it was such an important episode. We wanted people to know how important it is to have a website. So we're like, let's write all our notes down so we don't forget them. And now we just blurt it out. Usually in every other episode, we're like, get a website. It's important. No matter what.
Right. Yeah, I know. But I think, I think that's part of it. It's such a meaty episode, or it's a meaty topic, I should say. And I think we wanted to do research, even though we know how to create an author website. We both have one and we talk about our experiences, but I think we wanted to have like credible sources. We wanted to be more informative than more laid back. And I mean, we still kind of do that in our episodes, but for the most part, we kind of ramble on about like, this is what we do and we like it and think it's good, but don't listen to us because, if something goes wrong, don't blame us.
Well, this might have been our first, like, as you said, like a meaty episode, because the other ones were more like silly questions like, are you a planner, pantser, or a pantser? Do you write to music? They're almost like simpler questions, whereas this is an actual, it's not a preference. Do you like music? What snacks do you eat? Because I'm sure that was one of our earlier questions. This was more like, wow, are you an author? Here's some important information you might not know. Of course you know it. It's already out there on the internet, but we still made an episode because we wanted to do it.
Yeah, you're right. We did have a lot of like opinion type questions in the beginning. I think, do authors really need websites? That was our first episode where it was more educational, I guess you could say.
I think it's because we were still transitioning from the game. And if anyone played the game over on Twitter, still calling it Twitter, hate the name X, hate the name Twitter, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But our questions were designed to be simple, easy opinion questions. Obviously, every now and then we'd throw in something more. But again, people were answering on Twitter. So you're talking, it had like, what, 240 characters? So you couldn't have this like, should you have a website and why? Because people couldn't go into much detail unless they made a thread. So I think we were still transitioning and using those simpler questions to kind of get people interested and also to see where we were going and how we would feel doing the podcast. We wanted to make it easy at the beginning.
Yeah, that's true, especially since the whole point of the hashtag game was to engage conversation, or encourage conversation with other writers. And we wanted other writers to connect with each other and make new friends. And we did that through the opinionated questions so that we could see who has what in common and people could connect that way. So we essentially did the same thing with the hashtag. We just decided to speak it rather than write it. It's kind of ironic.
Because it took so long to do those games, like so much
Yes.
effort. I don't think people realized when they used to play, it's like the game board, the question cards, scheduling it, making sure you went and checked all the answers, tried to make sure you communicated and connected with everybody. Yeah, it was a lot of work. Although now I'm looking at it, the podcast is probably more. Why did we think this was going to be better and easier? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, actually, because we really thought that, we really did. We thought that it would be such like a nice change of pace and be easier. And wow, we really were naive when we started this thing, huh? Holy crap. Speaking of social media, I just found that this next clip is kind of funny because it didn't really age well in terms of social media as a whole. So let's listen to clip number 5.
Like none of my friends are on Facebook anymore. Everybody's on Twitter or Instagram, or now TikTok is like the new thing.
Yes.
I'm not on TikTok.
No, I don't mind watching TikTok. I just don't want to be on TikTok.
I don't even have a TikTok at all. I don't watch anything from there. My cousins are on TikTok and they'll show me stuff that they make, and it is pretty amusing. but it's just, I mean, Twitter and Instagram for right now is enough for me.
I think people are drawn to the ease of Instagram because you can show so much with just a photograph rather than text, which is what you often needed with Facebook and Twitter and everything. So yeah, interesting.
Did you notice that clip, we weren't reading from a script?
No.
You could tell we were reacting and talking about it, and it was so much more normal. And it was like, there's a little wispy hint of where we are now.
Yes,
right,
exactly. We were having an actual conversation.
Yeah.
Good for us.
I love that. It's like, yeah, no, we're not on Twitter, TikTok, and I'm still not on TikTok, and I don't think you are at your age. And yet, like, book talk is huge, so maybe we should be on TikTok.
I mean, I did have TikTok. I did end up downloading TikTok for a little while, but I've since deleted it because I was on it too much. So now I watch Instagram Reels, which is essentially the same thing, but I don't know, whatever. But I find how I question it. I'm like, TikTok is the new thing. And we're like we're trying to dissect the social media. And I also appreciate how you were like, yeah, people are drawn to the ease of Instagram because it's just all pictures. I'm like, that's not true anymore.
No. It's not just pictures. It's not even like you sit there, you set up like templates or ideas, and then they go, you know what? We're going from square to oblong. So all your feed looks awful. And then it's like, don't post every day. Don't use hashtags. It's like, this just proves how things change constantly. And if you are not up to date with it, you know, it's the technology is just whizzing us by. And I don't know about you, but I am really getting tired of it. I mean, I was always tired of social media, but it's just like, I don't want to learn any more things.
I know. And you think about all the people that worked so hard to make their Instagram feed like cohesive and look like one giant picture, or they make it just have a nice little color scheme, palette, whatever you want to call it, and everything's matchy. And then you look on their feeds and it has the rectangle and it just, everything's cut off now or stretched out or whatever. And it's kind of sad to see that Instagram really screwed that up. But I mean, back in the day, it really was just the square image. I don't remember when, but I do remember when Instagram introduced multi images.
Slides. Yes.
Yeah. So you, instead of just posting one image at a time, you could add up to like 5 or something like that. I think now you can add up to 20. Which those are called carousels, I think now. I think before it was just multi-image, whatever, and now they're called carousels because you can have carousels be static images and be like a slideshow, or you can turn it into like a reel and have, I don't know. It's too complicated now. It seems simple, but it's just too complicated because there's so many things you could do. You could have the static image, or you could have the static slideshow or carousel, whatever, or you can have a real carousel, or you can have a reel as a video, and you can have music. You don't have to have music. Even with the static image, I think you can add music.
I think so. I don't spend enough time on Instagram other than scrolling, which I am desperately trying not to because it's just really depressing.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, and you could tell everyone who like scheduled like 1 million posts ahead of time, and then for like weeks the posts just kept coming on in that square in an oblong, and it's like they can't read that either.
Yeah.
Nope. It's like, I wonder how many of these people like make your whole content for a year. It's like, oh, you're gonna have to remake it.
I know, yeah. Too bad, so sad. The next clip number 6, is a short one, and I grabbed this just so that we could all roast Rachel.
You also have these different pages. So it's like you have your website face, and then you have different pages that your viewers can click on. And pages that, like, we personally recommend, you want to have an about page about you, obviously. And you want to have a contact page. We recommend having a contact form, because if you put your email, then 1, everybody has your email, and 2, depending on how you type in your email, that allows spam to send you things. Like if you just write your email straight out and it becomes a hyperlink, then all the little bots in the internet sphere are gonna get that, and they're just gonna send you whatever to your inbox.
Honestly, I felt like it should have been a drinking game for every time you said the word page.
Right? I mean, we really thought we were spitting facts. I mean, we're like, you should have a website and you want to have pages. You can have different pages of your website. And the first page is an about page because you want people to know about you. And another page, you should have a contact page. And when you have the contact page, make sure you write your email correctly. Like that's the whole purpose of the page, is to write your email correctly. I don't think we ever talked about why you should have a contact page. I just rambled on and on about like, don't get spam from the internet sphere. What is the internet sphere?
It's like some giant Borg ship, in the movies where it turned into a round one, not a square one. It's like, that's the internet sphere. It's a giant Borg ship, which is what it feels like. We're all being assimilated.
It's true. It is true. I also appreciate that when I was talking about the pages for your website, I introduced it so that I was trying to say that the specific pages I was talking about is different from your homepage. But instead of saying homepage, I said website face.
I tried the drinking game with juice.
What you were doing. I was like, wow, she's really thirsty. Oh my God.
Never try it with juice. It doesn't work.
I'm sure it doesn't. You were laughing while you were drinking, and I was like, "Why? What is she finding so funny?"
So funny.
Oh my God.
To be fair, I mean, it might be like, oh, why did we say all this? But I have still been on, even like in this year, I have been on web pages that didn't have an about page, that didn't have a contact form, and you're just like, how are people still not doing this?
Yeah. Like, or they hide it. Like it's not part of the main menu. It's like in really teeny tiny font as the footer or something, which I guess is their way of being like, I know I need this page, so here it is, but I'm going to hide it because I really don't want to hear from you. Which is kind of a mood. I can get behind that.
You could literally have a contact page and then just put, I don't accept unsolicited messages. Bye. And then at least people know, rather than hiding it. I don't want to go on a treasure hunt for your goddamn contact page.
But it doesn't work. I've had to like completely disable my contact form because I would get so many things I would list. Like, I do not respond to emails about this, or this. And then I get those emails and it's like people, they don't read. They just scan the words and they're like, oh, she likes SEO. So I'll offer my SEO services. And I'm like, no, I just said, I don't accept those types of messages. You will be deleted. And if you follow up, you will get on my block list because I'm over it.
Seriously, it's like, how is this still happening? But I think it's worse now. You get less people reading and connecting. I literally got an email through my contact form and it was like, hi. And I think they put me on a newsletter. And I don't like that.
I've had that happen,
like, yeah, and they put like, oh my God, it's like, we're doing a network thing and we've put you on our list for your business so you can get clients. And it's like, what business do you think I'm running where I need clients?
Yeah.
And it's like, authors don't have clients. They have readers. That's what they have. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I got added to the shitty newsletter and it was like that, like, hello author. It's like, dude, my website has my name in the URL.
Yeah. That's happened to me before and I unsubscribe and then during the exit survey I say I never signed up for this and then I report them to the email provider.
Nice.
Because it's technically illegal to add people to your list without their consent. So I'm like, I'm reporting you. I didn't used to be like that, but I am old and bitter at this point because it's happened too many times. So there's no slack from me anymore. If you break the rules with me, I have no problem deleting the message and blocking you and reporting you if need be.
You know what? It's like
anymore.
You've had long enough to know the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Stop pissing everybody off.
Yes.
100%. Yep. Crabby old women. Right. That's what we are, and we're fine with that.
Yeah. Alrighty. Last clip. Clip number 7. Last clip. All right, I'll stop talking.
Put a page with the novel's title, even if you put in brackets that it's a working title. put the blurb, put something about the story you're writing to start building that engagement and interest with your readers, so they can start to be drawn in and want to know more about you. In the end, your website should reflect who you are. It should be easy to navigate, be filled with relevant content, and if possible, regularly updated. And this can be done, as Rachel said, by adding a blog. We are both bloggers and we really highly recommend it.
I don't know if I highly recommend blogging anymore.
I know, yeah, blogging. I mean, blogging's not dead, but it's not really as relevant or prominent now.
Also, you're just likely to get, scraped by freaking AI. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true too. Do you know why I chose that clip?
why?
Just speaking of scripts, like you can tell the first part of that clip, you're speaking, and then you hear the shift where you start reading. Did you notice that?
I try not to even know. I mean, honestly, it all sounds terrible.
We sounded good for the time, okay?
We did for the time. Oh my God, it's only been 5 years. I find it funny because that clip starts with me saying, you even if you're not published, you should have a page with your books, you should have the blurb and maybe an image, and there's me with my website, and I pulled my book page to update it about a year ago, and it's still not up yet.
Really?
So there's no blurb, there's nothing. Yeah, if you go onto my website and click like books and like the stories I'm working on, it used to go through the series and it would have like the blurb and some graphics and like what the status it was up to, how many words, whether it was being edited or anything. And yeah, I pulled it a year ago to fix it, and it went off the list and I've forgotten all about it. So I'm not even following my own advice, which is probably pretty typical of the podcast. We say a lot of shit, but we don't always do it.
Oh, well, that's why we tell you guys to take our advice with a grain of salt. But to be honest, I didn't even notice that you didn't have book pages on your website. Like, what?
Are you
I
telling me
remember
you're not
seeing it.
constantly looking at my website like all the time?
No, unless I have to steal something that you did and
Oh, yeah,
figure out
that's
how to
fine.
word something. But well, at the time that what did I say? This is episode 12. At that point, I didn't have any book pages. I think I just had my short story Sunday page and like a list of all the stories. There goes the stammering. I'm not editing any of this out, by the way. You guys have to listen to it so that you can actually hear how much we have improved over the years. So you're welcome. But yeah, I didn't.
Is the word improved the correct word? We might be a little bit more confident and a little less give a shit, but I don't know if improve is the word.
Well, I mean, I guess we sound better audio wise, I'd like to think, because we have better
I'll agree
equipment
with
stuff
that.
now. Yeah, I want to know in the comments how many of you have actually heard these episodes when they first released. How long have you guys been listening to the Mary Writer podcast? Have you been listening for the full 300 weeks straight, or did you just join us like a few months ago and you're hearing all of this for the first time and you're like, wow, I'm so glad I didn't know about them 5 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, even if you've heard them, you might not remember them and be like, wow, these are terrible.
I know. Well, I mean, okay, that's a follow-up question. If you have been listening to us the entire 5 years, why? What made you hear our first few episodes and say, yeah, these guys know what they're talking about?
I don't know if I want to know the answer to that.
Oh, I do. Please answer. Because Ari's the one that checks the comments on YouTube.
I do.
I'll probably forget that I
do.
asked this. I mean, let's be real.
I mean,
We have a good
it's
system.
like- Do we?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, you mean, yeah.
The way we kind of split everything 50-50. Some areas might be a little skewed, but I mean, we work really well together.
But it all balances out. It all balances out.
Yeah, I don't think it would have lasted the 5 years otherwise. Almost 6 years at this point when this episode releases. If you think about it, it's been like 5.5+ years. It's really weird.
You know what? I am quite impressed with us. It might not be a very big podcast, and to be honest, we've never wanted it to be like a mega big podcast. That's kind of
right.
That sounds kind of scary. But I know we're like a little dinky podcast. And even in 5 years, I don't really mind that. I actually don't. We have a really nice core set of listeners. And then the odd person pops in and goes, nope, not for me, which is fine. But I am quite impressed because when we started our podcast in 2020, obviously everyone was in lockdown and podcasts became kind of a surge. 2020, 2021 was big for podcasts starting. And we knew so many fellow writers or whatever who'd started a podcast, and almost all of them haven't carried on. Ours is still going. And to say we're just a little dinky podcast, I'm actually quite pleased with that. You know, we powered through, we've done it. Whereas other people are like they faded away, or you know, they had better things to do. Probably what it is.
Have we powered through, or are we just stubborn?
Yeah, maybe we're just in a routine and we just don't know how to get out of it.
Yeah, that could be it. I mean, we do have our episodes for 2026, like halfway through 2026, we have our episode topic ideas.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we're ever going to run out.
Got guests.
And I think it'll get to the point where both of us may want to get out of the podcast, but neither one of us will be the first to admit it. So we'll both carry on until we're like 80 years old.
I think it's sweet that you think we're going to live to 80 years old. Oh, and I'd like to point out, I'm going to reach 80 a lot sooner than you are.
Well, did you listen to the duck song?
I did not, no.
Ugh,
You do understand that nobody's going to understand what you meant by that.
No, I
Just
know.
because we recorded it next to each other does not mean... If you understand what she means by the duck song, if you heard that episode from whenever... Wait, was that an episode we did for 2026? Is this like a future thing? You're going to hear it in the future.
Wait, no, it's next week's episode. We recorded these out of order because I struggled to get these clips and figure out how to compile them together. So we recorded episode 301 before this episode. So if you're curious to know why I'm asking Ari about the duck song, make sure you come back next week. And with that, I'm going to leave that as to a nice segue to the outro. Before we leave, if you want to learn more about us, the podcast, and opportunities to be a guest on the show, don't forget to check out our website at themerrywriterpodcast.podbean.com. And in the comments, please let us know which episode kept you listening to this podcast, because we really are curious. And also let us know if you know what we're talking about when we say the duck song. Please help me out here. And remember, we do release a new episode every Wednesday. Next week, we're re-asking ourselves some of these old episode questions. So to ensure you don't miss that and our conversation about the duck song, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on your way out. As always, thanks for listening to the Merry Writer Podcast. We will see you guys next week. And also thanks for 300 weeks. This podcast is brought to you by Arguments Over Coffee and Tea. Which side are you on? The music titled Inspired is by Kevin MacLeod, licensed under Creative Commons 4.0.